We start this programming today with a special announcement. Dallas, Texas, we're coming for you!
Yes!
We are so excited. We have a live show on Thursday, October 19th at the Texas Theater. The doors are at 7. The show is at 8.
There are general admission and VIP tickets still available. VIP gets you a signed poster and access to our post-show Q&A. And
my favorite part.
Those Q&As
so
get
fun.
kind of ruckus.
They get so buck. We're all wasted by the end.
It's so fun. And
We tell all.
we definitely tell all. There have been proposals.
They are not recorded.
Yeah, the venue staff are always like, what is happening? So anyway, splurge for the VIP ticket if you're so inclined. And you can get yours now at wineandcrimepodcast.com. Go check it out. Dallas, we're going to be there soon, baby.
We'll see you on October 19th.
We'll see you there.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We really do.
And I'm gonna mess up the routine here and remember to say my name.
Oh my God! Miracles happen once in a while.
I am Kenyon.
I am Lucy and impressed.
I am Amanda. And I'm wearing, it's hoodie season.
Yes.
I've got the new Wine and Crime hoodie on today.
You
She
guys,
cute.
It's
I
so
know
cute. It's
that
so comfy.
She's literally from our company, but I
Love her.
love it
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much.
This is a good one. We haven't done zip-up hoodies like ever before.
I love a full zip hoodie.
Yep.
So many options.
Yeah.
So
She
versatile.
cute. She cute. So you're really going to want to go snag this bad boy off of our online store.
Show 'em the back.
wineandcrimepodcast.bigcartel.com. No, because I'm real comfy in my seat.
Okay.
But it's got a
No.
really cool graphic on the back.
It's really cute. Go to our website.
It's really cute.
And real soft.
Show them the back. No.
No, but it's there. It's on
there.
our website.
It's stinking cute.
Yeah. Oh, also, if you're unaware of our Patreon page, if you're not already a Patreon supporter, you got to check it out. We have so much extra content.
We sure do. It's like a whole nother podcast.
It is a whole nother.
Yeah.
And
Whole
my
nother.
favorite thing on Patreon is our monthly happy hours where we do like a live stream.
Yes.
Those are so fun.
This is fresh in our minds because we have another one coming up on Wednesday, Tuesday, the 27th.
September 27th.
September 27th.
Yelling it.
They're every month. They're close to the end of the month. And for those donating at $5 a month or more, you are welcome. You're invited to the party.
They're really, really fun. We divulge a lot more when
very
we've
candid.
been a tiny bit. We have like 3 sips of wine and like 1 gummy, and we are just telling
Yes.
all. It's a gal's tell all
It's a
every
lot
month.
of ask me anything basically with
Yeah.
like it's basically like a drunk dive ask me anything but live and you get to
Live.
like hang. It's
And so we
much
can't
fun.
bleep if we accidentally say names.
No room for error.
There's no room for error, and we err a lot.
Yep.
You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, so go over check out our Patreon.
I love it.
We are continuing Hog Girl Summer right through September because of the astrological calendar. I don't know, because we felt like it. Yeah, we have selected the topic. This was a me pick. I forced this one.
I like it. There was no forcing whatsoever.
At
least for
was
me.
not feeling it, but this is like my favorite type of case.
I was painted into a corner, really. Don't expect much from my segment.
I fully support this because the cases are great.
I love the cases. So the topic is the devil is in the details. So shit that was solved by like one little crucial detail. Oh, I love it. I love
that.
it so much.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, Amanda, what is our wine crime pairing for The Devil is in the Details?
Yeah, I have a really fun recommended pairing today that I am not drinking because A, it's noon, and B, I'm officiating a wedding after this, so I can't just roll up a bottle of wine in. But, I mean, maybe I could, but these people were not wine and crime fans when they booked me, so I should probably not be so on brand.
I can't believe you're helping others.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a good blend these days.
Okay.
But, so those are my legal reasons for not drunk. I don't know if you're supposed to officiate a wedding drunk. It is a binding legal situation.
Maybe you're not.
How many of my weddings are now null and void? It's fine. We're not going to audit that. Anyway, there is a literal winery in California called Details Wines, whose tagline is "The devil is in the details," and they have really cool branding. That's like it's like a devil goat with like big cool horns.
Ooh, like your backpack.
Like my backpack. Yeah,
That's
it's really
a
gorgeous. Yep. And Lucy, I know you can't drink, but I chose off of their selection this one for you because I'm looking at their Sauv Blanc.
Yum.
And we can get a bottle and then celebrate by cracking it after you crack that baby out.
Okay.
After you crack your pelvis, getting that
crack
baby
that
out.
pelvis.
Can't wait.
Crack that sucker open,
I'm in
girlfriend.
labor. Nice crack.
Nice crack. Oh, Jesus.
The doctor.
Please.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That'd be hilarious.
I'm
If
gonna
you think
get
of
Corey
it,
to bribe the doctor to say that.
No.
I want to send
hate it
you
when
a
people say
clip
that.
from the show that we can't believe you haven't watched, Parks and Recreation. It's in the series finale when April and Andy are welcoming their first baby, and the baby is due around Halloween, so she's just been wearing scary Halloween makeup for like a month so that she'd be in this special makeup when she had her baby, and it's really funny. Anyway, I'll send you that because I can't believe you haven't seen this show.
It's
My baby
unbelievable.
shower is creepy themed. I can't wait.
It is. It's going to be litty. So this is a 100% Sauvignon Blanc with grapes sourced within Sonoma County, and it retails for anywhere. I've seen it anywhere between like $23 and $25. So a really nice high quality Sauv Blanc without breaking the bank. And on the nose, you're going to get aromas of lemon zest, white flowers, a little honeycomb, but then it's balanced with a lot of really nice acidity. You will get some apricot, some white grapefruit, maybe a little bit of melon. So it has that sort of like sweet fruit forward, but it's just going to finish out with that like nice, grassy, acidic minerality. It just sounds really fucking refreshing. So you can check them out at detailswines.com. They have great wine. They have great merch. They have really cute branding. I'm a big fan.
Cool. Gonna have to stock up on some of that.
Yeah, check them out.
All right. Well, nice pap.
Nice pap. Well, this wine would have been a crack.
Nice crack.
Nice crack. Nice proverbial crack.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Lucy,
Oh, cheers.
what is our background and maybe psych? I don't know. For The Devil is in the Details.
Well, I guess there is a little bit of psych.
Ooh.
We're going to go with that. Okay, so as stated, I didn't know where to go with this. But what I
Homunculus too.
Homunculus too. But when I thought of devilish details and like in the bad way, the first thing that came to my mind was like mindlessly agreeing to Apple terms and conditions.
Oh God,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, like what are you signing on to? Like a Black Mirror episode.
Oh,
As,
no.
Like that episode of Black Mirror that's like not Netflix, like Blueberry or whatever they called
You
it.
can use my
we
likeness.
own all your life.
Yep.
Which
Your
like is becoming a
IP.
thing.
Your likeness.
The IP of your face and voice.
Yeah.
I
The
hate
intellectual property of your intellect and personality.
The AIP.
Ooh. Okay, so we all skip the terms and conditions when we're signing up for shit like that because why bother reading it?
Yeah.
But sometimes there is more to them than just boring legal jargon. According to NPR, Georgia high school teacher Donnellen Andrews, and this was sometime before 2019. The article didn't say when it happened, but It was a little while ago. So this high school teacher won a $10,000 reward after carefully reading the terms and conditions that came with her travel insurance policy that she purchased for an upcoming trip to England.
Oh, wow.
So she purchased travel insurance through an insurance agency.
She actually read it.
And it was like hidden in there?
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So the $10,000 reward was part of a top secret pays to read campaign that insurance company, which is called Squaremouth, had launched to highlight the importance of reading policy documentation.
That's fucking
so cute.
brilliant.
So it was like the first person to call this number to claim your reward, you get 10 grand.
Hell
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I remember in elementary school, I'm sure lots of people did this, but there was one time in like 4th grade where our teacher like handed out a quiz to all of us. It was like a long quiz, several pages. And she kept saying like, read through the instructions first before you start.
Yeah.
And the instructions were kind of long and they were at the top. And
I never would have read them.
yeah, definitely not. And the last instruction, or like second to last instruction, was like, write your name at the top of this paper. Don't answer any questions. Flip it over and say you're done.
And no one did it?
No one did it. And we all just like agonized through this quiz.
That's amazing. I would have agonized with the quiz too.
Yeah.
I love that. This isn't quite the same, but this was like one of the very few times I cheated on a test and it worked.
Ooh.
It was well, it couldn't have been a spelling test. I guess it was like a vocabulary, like write the definition test in an English class. And there were 10 words and I didn't know one of them. I didn't know like number 7. So I just listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then skipped 8, 9 to 8, 9, 10 and just did not list a number 7. So it didn't look like there was a gap in it. She didn't notice.
Wow, that's not cheating. That's just being clever.
Well, I felt like I was cheating.
Oh my god.
You know, I
Such
don't like
a goody two.
I don't like to misbehave.
I dropped my late homework so that it floated and slid directly under my teacher's desk and wedged under. And then I was like, I turned it in. I don't know.
Yeah,
and then
you lost it.
Yeah, and then he found it and he apologized to me.
As he fucking should.
Pays to read, pays to be clever.
A little sneak.
Little details.
So in 2010, as part of an April Fool's joke, the British retailer GameStation, not to be confused with PlayStation or GameStop,
Okay.
inserted a new clause into their license agreement and pre-checked that agreement box for users. So the problem was that the new clause meant that the clause said that users would grant GameStation permission to claim their souls. and it was pre-checked.
Love it.
So if GameStation, according to this clause, if GameStation were to exercise their right to the soul transfer, they would serve the notice in the form of 6-foot-high letters of fire.
Amazing.
If people read carefully enough, they would have realized that they could get out of that clause by clicking a certain link. So you could click the link if A, you do not believe you have an immortal soul, B, you've already given it to another party, or C, you do not wish to grant us, GameStation, such a license.
Incredible.
So
I love that.
So if you read it and then you could click the link, then you were awarded with a voucher of some kind.
Brilliant.
Okay, all right.
So
Pays to read.
pays to read. And then here's the last example, and it's not completely on point, but Scott's mom, Denise, sent this to me a couple days ago.
Oh, okay.
And I loved it, and it fits with this. So back in 2017 in Maine, there was a pretty major lawsuit between Oakhurst Dairy and their milk truck drivers. And it involves a hotly debated topic among grammar people, the serial comma.
Oh, important.
Very important. So according to Maine state law, workers are not entitled to overtime pay for the following activities: the canning, comma, processing, comma, preserving, comma, freezing, comma, drying, comma, marketing, comma, storing, comma, packing for shipment or distribution of agricultural produce, meat and fish, or perishable foods.
Okay.
So
Isn't
because
that their job?
because there was no serial comma in packing for shipment or distribution of, the drivers could say, we don't pack anything. And this sentence is merely outlining two different types of packing and not two distinct activities. So in other words, this is per the New Yorker. The issue is that without the comma after shipment, the packing for shipment or distribution is a single activity. So truck drivers don't pack food either for shipping or distribution. They drive the trucks and deliver it.
So they don't pack the trucks with the already packaged food.
They
Correct.
just distribute, not pack.
So, but the intention was that the distribution of was its own activity, but there was no comma. So it was up for interpretation.
Love it.
So therefore, the exemptions do not apply to the drivers. And those drivers who worked overtime were entitled to their compensation. And Oakhurst Dairy ended up owing them some $10 million.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Also, how can you just say, like, you don't get overtime for these activities if
Right.
you go overtime? What?
Well, maybe they're saying don't go overtime.
yeah.
That's their veiled way.
I mean,
If we can't give you overtime for any of the following things, it just means you can't go into overtime.
Right.
Yeah, I guess, but
It's just a
weird.
shitty,
It's like, what if
scammy
you're-
way of
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. And they have to have contracts like this in their business shit anyway. So
Ugh.
anyway, I loved it. Go serial comma. There is no fucking reason why you shouldn't have a serial comma.
Yeah, what are you saving by not putting in that comma?
I don't know. I don't understand the other
What's
argument.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the point of not having it?
I don't know. Okay, so those are some devilish details, but linking this to crime because that is the cornerstone of this
That is
podcast.
ostensibly why we're here.
Sure.
Sometimes.
Forensic pathologists are required to estimate the time of death in order to, amongst other things, reduce the investigation period and the number of suspects in homicide cases. It's also, as we know, helpful in piecing together a timeline of events leading up to the death in question. So multiple factors can affect the development of post-mortem changes in real-life scenarios. Therefore, it's critical to use multiple methods of estimating the PMI, post-mortem interval, to help establish a reliable timeline. The estimated PMI provides a basis for arguments in court, and it is very important for a forensic expert to ensure that the post-mortem changes are well interpreted and that the proper inferences have been made. They need to know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Right,
Make
right.
or
Because
break.
everything rides on that, basically.
Yeah.
And there are
Alibis, timelines.
and there are so many variables that you really have to read every single detail and interpret it correctly to for it to work.
I
Right.
wonder if somebody has had like a lot of plastic surgery and Botox, if asking for a no, I'm kidding. I've only had Botox and only once, but if that would affect like the rate of decomposition.
Maybe on the face, but not like throughout the rest of the body.
Yeah, like
Or
only
other
on
parts of
those
the body.
places. Like
Those procedures are pretty localized. So if only the face remained, then sure. But I would imagine there are so many other tissue samples available to indicate those factors of decomp that
yes,
Probably
and
not.
people get Botox in their armpits, on their bellies, on their
Yeah.
legs. Like,
no, that's true.
People, you can get Botox
For sweat.
for sweating and yeah.
So it could
in
it
your
could
throat
have,
for burping.
Oh, yeah, it certainly could have be a factor. I would just imagine there's like a lot of tissue in a body
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
other
that you can
places to look.
examine. Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
curious.
yeah.
Another
But
reason to check that
that's
vitreous
put it on the
humor.
list. Botox crimes.
Ooh, I like that. Plastic surgery crimes.
I'm into it.
She's had some work crimes.
I have. Let's do this.
So if there is a large range in hours or even days in the PMI, that information may not be useful to law enforcement. It could also poke holes in the prosecution's theory. So defense lawyers can be like, you don't even know when this guy died.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the tiniest details, such as insect evidence,
Very important.
can help establish a PMI. There are two main ways to assess the PMI of human remains using entomological evidence. We've done forensic entomology. We've talked about this, but I'm grasping at very small straws here.
It's still so great and so interesting. There's plenty to say.
Yeah.
Also, don't Google maggots on corpse.
Okay. Wasn't gonna,
if you're feeling at all queasy.
but thanks for the warning.
I did during Amanda's
we had
wine
very
segment.
different pregnancies.
You Googled that during my wine segment? That was like
I was
2
looking for-
minutes.
I know, I was looking for pictures to add to my folder.
A nice minerality, maggots on corpse.
Maggots on corpse. Oh
I
my
saw some things. I saw some shit.
You saw some I've seen some shit.
One of those ways to incorporate the entomology is to look at the insect succession of arthropod species found on a body. So insects arrive at decomposing remains in really predictable successive waves.
Sure.
Depending on the stage of decomposition, obviously the environment, where it is, whatever. But it's really easy to predict. The other method involves looking at the degree of development in the oldest maggots feeding on the biological material, from which one can determine a close approximation of the time since death, because those flies get to work
Quick.
within hours.
Yeah. They're not fucking around.
So the reason why this is a method that works is because insects, like I just said, often lay their eggs within hours or even minutes after death. And maggots in particular molt 2 times before they become a pre-pupa and then a pupa and then a fly, all within a few weeks. So since maggots are constantly eating, they're growing really quickly.
Right. So they're changing really fast.
They're changing really fast. So looking at the
Yeah.
size.
Predictably.
Yep. And so looking at the size and the stage of pupation that they're in can
Gives
give you
a good timeline.
a lot of information.
Are there
Interesting.
places and climates where maggots don't exist?
Antarctica,
Right.
underwater.
Sure.
Those are 2 spots you could move to avoid maggots if that's where this is
Are
heading.
you trying? The
Try to
Indian
pick your
Ocean.
the
Try to
Indian
pick
Ocean.
try to pick your next vacation spot or
No maggots.
Kenyan on House Hunters.
must be in a climate where maggots cannot exist.
My one
I'm a
stipulation.
millennial trying to house hunt. No
Yeah.
maggot.
No maggots. Budget is $6 million.
No, I just meant like for death investigations. Like, yeah, I guess the Antarctic.
And underwater.
But
I
like,
mean,
I guess,
as far as like in the open air,
well, because some places don't have mosquitoes, so I just thought maybe some places don't have.
Wait, where doesn't have mosquitoes?
Lots of places don't have mosquitoes, like parts of
What?
Europe.
I'm Googling.
I think.
Where doesn't...
I feel like flies.
Yeah.
There are lots of different species of flies, and there might be fewer species of mosquitoes.
Countries
right?
without mosquitoes 2023.
Flies
map.
live wherever they can find food. They thrive on every continent except Antarctica.
Antarctica and Iceland are the only places without mosquitoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Iceland, top of the list.
Yeah. I can handle that.
It is in Europe. She wasn't wrong.
No, she wasn't.
What about the Arctic? Not just the Antarctic, the regular Arctic.
I don't know. I already exited out of the thing. I already don't care.
Well, we'll never know.
I'm not moving to any kind of Arctic, so I'm not going to be without maggots or mosquitoes. That's what I've gained from this.
Yuck.
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay, so both methods, meaning the waves of predictable insects and also the maggot maturity, rely on a variety of factors such as season, climate, the location of the corpse, etc. And also, this reminded me of that Netflix documentary about the nuns, about the nun raping.
Oh,
My sister's keeper or the keepers.
Yeah.
The keepers.
Keepers.
There we go.
Keepers. That was so good.
Because that hinged on whether or not there were maggots on that one nun's face. That
yeah, they
girl
were trying
saw.
to gaslight that girl into thinking that she had a false memory of the maggots.
Yeah.
She was like, nah, bitch. I've seen some
Yeah.
shit.
That
Yeah. And it was in
series
in
is so
November. They were like, you wouldn't have seen maggots.
It was
on that
unseasonably warm.
I'm due for a rewatch of The Keepers. I haven't watched that in forever. Good holiday pick.
one. Yeah. Good feel
family-
good Christmas.
Family fun.
Yeah, a good fall rewatch. Cozy fall rewatch.
It is kind of a cozy fall rewatch
I
in our
mean,
world.
Yeah.
It was surprisingly comforting, I thought. There was just something
yeah.
about all those nuns and like moms who came together to
People
like
coming
solve it.
together. Yeah,
To like
as a
take
community.
down a fucking ring of like fucked up.
Patriarchal rapists.
Yeah,
Who are all
patriarchal
dead
rapists.
anyway.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. So,
Cozy fall.
Anyway, maggots.
well, we're over the maggots now, but wrapping this up, you guys always get mad at me when I tell people how to get away with something criminal, but
I've never gotten mad at you for that.
I just don't want others to get mad. But I'm
I
taking
love
notes.
when you do this.
there are some loopholes for us, and I'm not condoning any of this, and I don't know how up to date these are, so take these how you will. 38 states, which is like 36 more than I thought, have stand your ground laws,
Yeah.
making it pretty much legal to kill someone inside your home or on your property.
Yeah.
And I heard recently that guy who shot Ralph Yarl, that 16-year-old black boy,
For like knocking on the door.
he was like going to pick up his brother and he knocked on the wrong
Got the
door
address wrong. Yeah.
and got shot
Through the door.
So I'm
Oh,
actually
the old fucker who did it is so gross looking
He's
too.
like 80
He's
something.
so scary looking.
Yeah.
I hate him.
well, I was also in Missouri, so it's just like this whole thing just paints a picture.
Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of surprised that guy, the shooter, is going to stand trial on charges of armed criminal action and first-degree assault. So the prosecution of this case can and probably will come down to the wording of each state's individual statute.
Right. Because there are stipulations to those stand your ground laws for sure.
There
I'm
are
just-
there are precedents and there are like reasons, and every
Yep.
state has different wording. So in this case, Missouri's law references a proportionate threat. So the shooter, the old creepy old man, his name is Andrew Lester, of course it is,
Of course. Mo Lester.
claims that Ralph, who again, a black teenager, was trying to open his storm door and break in.
Slash
Ralph-
knock on the main door.
He didn't even knock, he rang the doorbell. The
Whatever,
shooter
dude.
claims he was trying to open the door. And Ralph said he just rang the doorbell and was waiting for somebody to answer the fucking door. Anyway, the stand your ground stuff is so,
It's loose and gross.
it's loose and gross.
Yeah,
And
a
the-
lot of it feels intentionally vague.
And like, especially for this case and a lot of cases, who is going to argue that this was not a racially affected attempted murder?
People who want to protect this old white man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. Again, I'm glad and I'm surprised that he is going to stand trial because he faces up to 30 years in jail, which is effectively a death sentence.
Yeah, for this disgusting old maggot.
Mm-hmm.
Maggot muncher.
Ew. In Wisconsin, parents can give their children an alcoholic drink. I think it's just beer in a bar, restaurant, or at home. As long as the parent has their own ID to order it, then they can hand the drink to their child.
That's
I don't think it
that's
can be
amazing.
like. I think there's still an age stipulation though.
There is.
'Cause I don't think you could do it for like a toddler.
Helps them sleep. No kidding.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So the age stipulation is that the law does not apply to the kid as between the ages of 18 and 21 because technically the parent is no longer their legal guardian.
So they have to be under 18.
They have to be under 18.
But like bigger than a bread box.
Basically, yeah.
But
I do not
in a high
like-
chair.
I don't like this. It leaves too much room for like servers' discretion.
It's the most
It's
Wisconsin
totally
law
up to-
ever.
So fucking Wisconsin.
It's
I have
totally
the
up
right
to the
give
server's discretion.
My minor
Yeah.
child some beer at the table in this here Olive Garden.
oh
Yeah.
my God, that's my right as a red-blooded Wisconsin American.
This is a Culver's. Of course I'm giving my child beer.
This is, sir, this is a Culver's.
I don't know why I have a southern accent.
And
we
they
don't
also
even have alcohol here.
and they also can't serve the child like 6 beers.
Right.
Like it's up to the establishment's discretion. So they can say no.
Mm-hmm.
But like legally on paper, you can serve a kid beer as long as they're with their guardian and under the age of 18. I don't even
Dude.
know why this is a law. Like just
Liquor
scrap it.
licensing and insurance for restaurants that sell booze in Wisconsin must be such a nightmare.
Yeah. When we were driving back from your wedding,
Yeah.
we were going through Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Northern Wisconsin. And Zach was like, "What is a supper club?"
Oh, that's the best thing to ever come out of Wisconsin,
I've
though.
heard tell of a supper. He'd learned about it while they were fishing on
would
Lake Superior.
love a supper club.
I know.
That's right up. That's like exactly what he would love.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm gonna have to take him on a tour of supper clubs. But we passed different things, and he's like, "Is that a supper club?" And I was like, "No." And then we
You'll know.
finally passed one, and I was like, "That's it, that's it!" And he was so excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vibe.
It's the
not,
best thing to
it's-
come out of Wisconsin.
It's indefinable.
Yeah,
It
supper
really
clubs
was.
are phenomenal.
He was like on the fishing boat, like your dad, the boat captain, Corey. Like nobody could like really tell me fully what a supper club
it's
was.
hard to capture the vibe.
Yeah.
But the next time you're here, we have some supper clubs in the Twin Cities that are like Wisconsin inspired, and then some that are like slightly elevated that we can take you to get you the vibe.
Love
So you
it.
can experience it without having to experience Wisconsin.
Why are the good ones only in Wisconsin?
There
I don't
must
know.
be-
The best ones are, though.
They really are.
It's like their thing.
Yeah.
It's like the Wisconsin
People go
claim
on
to fame.
tours of them.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom has a map
Yeah.
of Wisconsin supper clubs.
And their baked potatoes are always the best.
And their old
always the
fashions.
Yeah.
Their old fashions are so good. That's where you're going to get your like good baked potato like wrapped in high quality tinfoil. Like the tinfoil that you'll want to like flatten out and reuse.
And like a pepper mill.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And they're not leaving it at the table. You got to tell them when.
Yeah, like a big old wooden
Yeah.
size of like your torso German ass looking
Yeah.
pepper
Yep.
grinder.
Yep.
And at least 5 very high quality mounted bucks
Oh, yeah.
on the wall.
Yeah. Lots
And
of wall
someone
decor.
has to have allowed smoking in there for like at least 40 years. And so you can still get the vibe that people used to smoke cigarettes while they ate their steaks
the
in there.
yellow sheen on the like bric-a-brac.
Yeah, it's basically just eating in the sepia filter on Instagram.
Anyway, supper club crime.
Oh my God, I'm fucking starving. Holy shit. Wrap it up in tinfoil.
Excellent supper club, the Tornado Room in Madison. Amanda, that's the one that you were too tired to go to, but I brought you food home.
Yeah, I ate it in bed in the hotel and it was delicious.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, Wisconsin, why do you even have this law? There's no real point to it.
Yeah.
It's whatever. In Kansas, you can be publicly nude as long as you're not doing anything sexual.
Thank God. Because rarely am I doing anything sexual when I'm nude.
Right.
As soon
Rarely.
as soon as there is a sign of sexual behavior or arousal, you can be arrested.
Don't
What if
let
it's
those nipples
arousal
get
on
hard.
other people's part? Not your problem.
Not your problem. Not your problem. In
Okay.
North Carolina, public nudity is illegal, but nudity on private property is perfectly fine. You can be in your front yard, naked as a jaybird.
I like
love
that.
I love that.
Yep. Laws
How else
in
am I going to get an even tan?
My aunt did that once.
Hell yeah, she did.
She didn't mean to, though, but my aunt was like sunbathing she was like in her early 20s, and she was sunbathing in my grandparents' front yard in Bloomington, Minnesota, in their
Great
little like
yard.
suburban, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she was lying on her stomach, and she had undone her bikini straps to get an even tan on her back. And then a cop came because he was like asking if she had seen some car that had gone by or whatever. And she forgot that she had undone her bikini top. So she just stood up and talked to the cop, quote, for a really long time. He kept the conversation going.
I bet he fucking did.
And she did not
I
realize
bet he did.
until he left.
Wow, he was really thorough.
He never said a word to her about it.
big knockers run in your family, so I bet
Yeah.
he did keep her
Not
for a
on
while.
Julie, actually.
Oh,
She
okay.
did not
Fair,
get blessed
yeah.
with the big knockers. But
Julie's
still.
got a little set, a perky little set.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was in Mexico with my family one year at that house. There's like nobody around. Probably not for long. Fucking Tulum. Anyway, we're on the beach. There's no one else around. And then there, like a house, one of the houses next door on that same compound had this young British couple staying there. And they like were very attractive. They didn't like to wear clothes. They
Good
did
for them.
naked yoga on the beach in the morning. Great. They were beautiful to look
That's
at.
an invitation for sand to get places you don't want it.
True.
Yeah. And so one of the afternoons I was with my mom on the beach and the girl comes over and she's just wearing her bottoms. And we were just chatting with her for quite a while. It's like,
Chit chat.
she's just this perfect specimen little woman.
Nude woman.
I've never enjoyed looking at a naked woman's body that much.
That's bullshit because we all get naked together with regularity and love it.
I mean,
We're not naked yoga on the beach in Tulum.
No, we're naked
No,
a little
people.
drunk in a cocktail pool in Houston.
Damn right. They're different kinds of drunk naked.
Yeah.
bouncing each other's boobs.
It's a different vibe. That's the supper club of nudity.
We're
don't-
supper club nudists.
Yeah, we're supper club nudists. You don't know exactly how to describe it, but when you see it, you know.
The only thing I want covered is my baked potato.
Good tinfoil.
I'm gonna
Kidding. I
expose
actually
my
hate a
baked potato
tinfoil
with
baked
the
potato. I love a crispy
good
skin.
tinfoil.
But anyway.
I like it. Nice and steamy soft. Anyway, also that girl who had me sign her boob in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit.
Yeah.
Just
That was a good show.
pillowy clouds.
Stunning.
So
We should add a disclaimer to our ticket sales.
Devil's in the details.
Where
she
it's
asked
like,
us.
If you ask us to touch
We'll
your
do
body, you cannot later sue us.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
We'll
Sign
get
a
a
waiver.
lot of witnesses.
Be
Sign
careful
a
what you wish
waiver.
for. Okay.
We're gonna touch you. If you ask us to touch you, we're gonna touch you.
So a lot of laws in Indiana are religiously based, and therefore many are deciding to join the Church of Cannabis.
Love that.
So members now are attempting to get exemption status for their church so they can be used, so cannabis can be used in religious settings. They
I
just
love
get together
that.
and get high and presumably don't have to pay taxes.
I fucking love that. The fact that until they tax churches, more of us should claim
Be
to be
making
fucking
churches.
churches.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so stupid,
Who are you to say that's not your religion?
right?
Yeah. I'm sure cannabis has been used in religious ceremonies
Yeah.
throughout history.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Tobacco has.
Yeah.
All that shit. I'm sure dildos have been used in religious.
In religious ceremonies.
I'm sure they have.
I'm sure touching your
certain.
friend's boobs in a cocktail pool does constitute.
Cocktail pools are a part of our religion.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need them tax free.
Yeah.
It's for baptism.
Yeah.
We are baptizing. There is a huge difference between assault and battery, which are a lot of times used interchangeably. And this can sometimes be a game changer in terms of like punishment. So battery entails an accusation of causing extreme bodily harm to a person and emotional distress. Whereas assault is a grade C level violation, so like not as big of a deal.
You hit me, but you didn't cause me permanent damage. So you assaulted me, but...
It also entails an unintentional altercation that may have led to physical or emotional harm.
Okay.
So like, but there are also laws that are like assault and battery.
Right.
I think it comes
I
down
usually
to
use them hear them like that.
Right.
Not interchangeable, but...
But maybe that's why it used to be called battered women's syndrome and not assaulted women's syndrome.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a terrible name, but I'm just
Yeah.
trying to draw connections.
The upstairs, the second floor of my house was a battered women's shelter. Had to clear that shit out once I got
Clear that
here.
energy out, although it's better than the reverse. Like, it's better
Yeah.
to have be it the shelter than the site of violence.
Yeah. There was a kitchen in my now bedroom.
Very cool.
Nice.
I would have kept it.
Corey asked
Lot
if we could
shorter
put
walk for snacks.
Corey asked if we could put it back in the other night.
I'd ask. You know how far it is from your bedroom to your kitchen? It's so
Right.
far. You have to take the stairs? My God.
It's far.
What kind of a hell do you live in?
I live in a hellscape.
I would love to someday have. I love how this has become my like someday house dream podcast where I just
dumbwaiter.
rant about
Yes.
features of houses that I like. But someday I would love to have like a cold water tap in my bedroom. Can you imagine?
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Cold filtered water, like a pot filler,
Yeah.
but for your mouth while you're laying in bed.
Or just like next to the bed so you don't have to like remember to bring your water to
Right.
bed at
You
night.
can just have
or
a glass,
refill it.
a little cupboard of
Just like that
glassware.
little, like a little spout.
That's
And then- yeah.
genius.
That's cute.
Why has no one thought of this?
I mean,
I'm sure some rich people out there have that.
yeah. There's gotta be. Rich people, get at us.
Along with your lip-shaped cocktail pool.
I don't. That's all you, baby. I'm a rectangular pool gal in my mind, in my
Big
dreams.
into rectangles. Rectangles.
Gone off the rectangle rails.
Okay.
Is there more?
No,
or
that's my
Jesus?
segment.
Okay.
All
okay.
right. Let's hear a quick word
Let's-
from our sponsors.
Is there more?
Little
Please,
tiny
God.
cold water spouts in bedrooms.com.
The devil's in the details. It's a very lovely detail of a bedroom. Support for today's episode comes from Waterboy. Waterboy is a hydration powder scientifically formulated to cut your hangover time in half. Sign me up. There are other hydration packs on the market, but nothing comes anywhere close to fighting those Sunday scaries like Waterboy. With 0 sugar, made for me, and over 3 times the electrolytes of Liquid IV, your hangover will stand no chance. Unlike their competitors, Waterboy has added ingredients beyond just hydration to help with nausea, anxiety, fatigue, all the worst. And we all know that hydration alone is not enough help after that bender you had in Vegas. I am still recovering from my bachelorette party. Yeah. And for a limited time, our listeners will get 15% off your entire order with the code GALS at waterboy.com. Tell us more, Lucy.
Well, they're good for hangovers, but they're also just good for general hydration. I'm not drinking too much these days, but I did give some of my samples to the kids over at Lachelle's, and they were grateful.
Shook.
They were shook. So inside each stick, there's ginger for that nausea that will make your tummy feel better. Oh, because my stomach, it always gets so bad. The anxiety is so real,
Yeah, it is.
and it affects everything.
Everything.
They also include L-theanine to help calm your nerves and reduce your anxiety. It's amazing. Their scientifically backed formula truly brings you back from the dead and just like helps you get through the workday.
Yeah.
Because drinking on a Sunday fun day, it always sounds fun.
Till that alarm goes off Monday morning.
Yup. And maybe the best part about Waterboy is how good it tastes. Because when you hear the reduced sugar, you're like, oh, well, then it's just,
Right.
function over form. But they taste so good. Their most popular flavors include strawberry lemonade, lemon lime, and blue freaking raspberry.
I love blue raspberry.
Me too. So you're actually gonna like want to drink these like all the time. They're gluten-free, caffeine-free, dairy-free, vegan, and made right here in the good old US of A. So you might regret the night before, but you're not going to regret reaching for those water boys.
It's magic. And hundreds of thousands of people already trust Waterboy as their hangover cure, so join us. It's time to stop dealing with that hangxiety alone. For a limited time, our listeners get an exclusive 15% off discount when they use the code GALS, GALS, at waterboy.com. That's 15% off with code GALS at waterboy.com, and Waterboy has got you recovered.
We ready?
Yeah.
Lucy, you are going to love this case. You're going to love it too, but this is a Lucy special right here.
Okay.
Maggots?
Nope, but you'll see why.
Okay.
I mean, it's terribly sad because of fucking patriarchy.
Yeah,
And-
well, all your shit's sad.
Yeah, we will get to it. Okay, so Janet Abaroa, née Christensen, was born on June 19th, 1979. She met her husband, Raven. That's his, That's his actual
His screen name.
That's like, it's not his screen name.
No,
that's on
his-
his birth
That's
certificate.
his actual name, and it really doesn't fit with anything about him.
Is he white?
Yes.
Oh,
He's
God.
blonde.
Oh. No.
It's
Never trust a blonde
very
Raven.
odd.
His
it's-
parents were...
Well, they're not.
Misguided.
We're about to get to it. It makes no sense.
Okay.
To the point where I was like, is it pronounced Robin? Like, what? But no, I don't know. So they met while they were both in college at Southern Virginia University. Janet came from a very big, very close Mormon family.
Oh, God.
She was actually the 7th of 10 siblings
No.
God.
and was the favorite aunt of all of her like nieces and nephews. Like, they just loved Auntie Janet.
Well, if she liked it, more power to her.
Well, I mean, she can't control how many siblings she has, but yes.
That would be my worst nightmare. Just people, and then, just people everywhere. Siblings all over your shit. You don't have anything to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have your own room, probably.
Definitely not. I don't think they make homes with 11 bedrooms for a regular family. Lucy, people just
Everywhere.
No privacy. You don't have your own snacks.
nope.
Oh, I could never.
So she had a big social circle, lots
It's weird
of
because you're kind of
friends.
describing motherhood.
Yeah, you
No.
don't get your own snacks.
Mommy will have her own snacks.
Okay.
Just put them on a high shelf.
She had a big social circle, lots of friends, and was, by all accounts, just an incredibly kind and fun-loving person. And Janet was also really athletic, and she was super into sports, especially soccer and swimming.
Ugh.
Raven, a fellow Mormon, was athletic too, and that was something that they bonded over. They were both also tall and blonde, hashtag tall hot blonde. And he was very charismatic. Still, friends and family say that at the beginning, Janet was hesitant to start a relationship with him, but Raven could be very persistent.
Hate that.
I don't like a persistent blonde man. Too pushy.
Too entitled.
Yeah, to everything.
One of Janet's sisters said that she was somehow wary of him, wondering why he was trying so hard to make everyone like him. Which,
That's never a good sign.
that's right, girl. That is a red flag.
He sounds like Joao from Below Deck. That's what I'm imagining.
J-Wow?
Joao.
Okay.
He's from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
He sounds like that guy I was very briefly dating who snuck off to pay our tab
Yes.
after our live show in Minnesota
And we
several
all
yeere
were
ago.
like, ew.
Yeah, we were
why
like,
would you do
why?
that?
Why would you do that?
Thank you for picking up this $300 tab for 12 people, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it was really gross, and I'd been dating him for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't.
It was weird.
I dumped him a week later.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're done.
Yeah. And then
Thanks
try
for
to
that
hold
dinner.
your key hostage.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Great deviled eggs at that place, though.
Oh, yeah.
That
We should
was-
go back for
yeah.
the devil.
The Lowry. It's delicious.
Okay, so Raven slowly wins over Janet and then Janet's family for the most part by talking about how important the Mormon faith was for him and how he had gone on mission work to Peru and all this stuff, right? So they're like, okay, all right, he's talking the talk, walking the walk. So in keeping with both of their, faith and culture, they're both Mormon. Raven and Janet were married very young, pretty much right out of college, and they soon moved to Smithfield, a small town in Virginia.
Great bacon from Smithfield.
They graduated from Sauverge and then moved to Smithfield.
Mm-hmm. And at first, everything seems great. They're newlyweds. They're making new friends in their community. They buy their first house. When the holidays roll around, they sent out festive Christmas videos to both of their families, which is like a thing that people do, apparently.
What year was this?
They're in their 20s, and she was born in 79.
So
the
99, early aughts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I bring up the Christmas videos because in one of them, Raven is showing off a new knife for his growing knife collection that either he got himself or maybe was like a gift.
No.
I got the coolest knife in Duluth. Do you want to see it?
Lucy can have a knife collection. A blonde man,
Cannot.
persistent blonde Mormon man cannot have a knife collection.
It's in this leather container. It's made out of bone. Did not specify what kind of bone.
Human, probably.
Deer.
And it's Valyrian steel.
Okay.
I had a knife like that I got in Norway when I was a kid when we were visiting my aunt and uncle, and then my mom took it from me to hold it for safekeeping, and then she lost it, and I had never got it back.
That sucks.
You got a knife like this?
Yeah.
I will redeem you. Not with this, because I like this one too much, but I'll get you one.
Oh, thank you.
I also forgot how to close it, so I'm just going to set it down.
Oh my God. I'm going to come down to your baby shower and have to close that myself. It's still going to be open when I get there.
Don't leave that lying. Okay, it's fine. She gonna get there. Okay.
She don't get there.
I'll walk you through it later.
My hands are so sweaty. Okay.
You sure Lucy can have a knife collection?
Yeah. There's 6 more on the shelf.
Expecting mother, oh no, I forgot how to close it.
I'll just leave it open on
I'll
this
just
desk.
leave it here.
The baby can't walk or stuff for a while. I have time.
It'll come fast.
If you have these habits now, you'll have them in a couple years.
Well, then I'll learn the hard way, won't I?
Yup.
Okay. So the knife collection, whatever. Basically, it's impossible to miss the rainstorm of Chekhov's multiple guns when talking about this case. Everything will be relevant later, and all of it is a red flag.
Great.
Okay.
So they don't actually stay in Smithfield that long. In just a few years, they decided to move to Durham, North Carolina for work because I think Raven got a job at a sporting goods company there. So he got this new job, and they're like, okay, we'll sell our house. We're going to move to Durham.
I feel like lots of crimes happen in Durham.
Right?
Nothing good happens in Durham, North Carolina.
I don't know.
Don't add us. Okay, still, everything seems great. Happy, young Mormon family about to set down some roots. Husband's got a great new job. Whatever.
Papa's got a brand new bag.
Knife.
Lucy's got a brand new knife.
New knife.
Well, this is a true crime podcast and my case, so we all know that was not where this
They
story
don't
is.
last.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Still, I would forgive you for being surprised to hear that just 3.5 years into their marriage, Raven suddenly told Janet that he has been having multiple affairs.
Of
wow.
course he has been. Blonde man.
So yes, plural, multiple affairs with many different people.
Okay.
People.
I know, I read that too, and there was no indication other than that word choice that it was various genders. So I think it was all women.
Okay.
He's not seeking Janet's forgiveness. He wants out of the marriage. He's done.
Okay.
I mean, divorce is an option.
That would have been great.
Yeah, kind of a slap in the face, though.
Well, sure, but it's better
rude
than
as hell, but it would
murder.
better than what is about to happen. So just for context, though, the divorce rate for practicing Mormons is between 6 and 9%. And the national divorce rate is 52%.
Yeah, so
it's
they're holding on tight.
I guess
Really
that's
not
what,
common in their community.
I guess that's what's most surprising to me. They're like devout Mormons.
Yeah,
He's been all in since before
Right.
they were even dating.
That he
Yeah.
would even entertain ending the marriage and
Right.
telling her at all rather than just offing her and keeping all of his infidelity a secret.
Or just continuing on and have his little wife
Right.
and have all of his affairs.
Yeah,
Or just keep it in his goddamn pants.
right,
Yeah, or God forbid, not have any more affairs.
right.
So Janet, I presume, is gutted. It seems like she was pretty blindsided by all of this. She's not willing to give up the marriage, though, without a fight. Also, she's pregnant with their first child.
Oh,
So friends rally around her, and with their help, Raven is persuaded to stay in the relationship and try and make it work.
No, I never want to be in a position where I am persuading or being persuaded
Right?
to stay.
Right?
That's a no.
I mean, I
Bye.
get that it's complicated because of
For sure.
culture and
They're
pregnancy.
I have
They're-
no culture or religious connection, so if I'm not wanted, I'm out.
Right?
yeah, but you're not a radical Mormon who's
That's
pregnant
exactly
with
what
her
I'm saying.
first
I
child.
don't have those. That's what I said. I
Right.
don't have those connections,
Right.
so
Right.
that wouldn't work for me.
Right. He claims that his affairs are now over and that he got it out of his system and he's ready to come back and be a better man and blah, 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 blah,
Be a
blah.
dad. Yeah.
So soon thereafter, Janet gives birth to a son named Caden. But obviously things are not automatically perfect between them now that he's back. Because like having to persuade your husband can't
To
feel
stop
good.
cheating on you while
Yeah.
you're pregnant with your first child probably sucks.
Right. Ask Melania Trump. So still, Janet is over the moon to be a mom. And while she may not be feeling super close with her husband, she is pretty much just focused on taking care of their new bundle of joy. And she's really, really happy and fulfilled in being a mom to Caden. But Raven is a charmer, remember. And he gets busy trying to craft a new public narrative because now his whole like affairs thing has gone public. And people think less of him, and so he needs to turn that ship around.
Well, it's not like he was a public figure.
No, but
But he was very involved in the church and part of a big community.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes around telling everyone that they are back on track, right as rain. In fact,
More
better
in love
than ever.
Yeah, better than ever.
Yeah.
Telltale.
Yep.
He claims the issue had been communication all along. But some friends and family remain unconvinced. For starters, Janet's family was concerned about Raven's, quote, moods.
Ooh.
Her brother, Mark Christensen, remembered a time when Raven accused him, falsely obviously, of stealing money and that the altercation turned violent.
Oh.
Mark recalled that Raven told him, quote, "You don't know who I really am and you don't know what I'm capable of," before grabbing Mark's head and slamming it against the wall
Oh my God.
to his brother-in-law.
Okay, guy.
Ew, I
Fucking
hate
chill.
him.
Yeah, he's gross.
Typical blonde man.
So Janet's brother, Mark, had never disclosed the attack to his sister because he didn't want to add extra stress to her life. So he was just like, just don't tell Janet. Like, it's fine, whatever. Like, let's just pretend it didn't happen because I don't want to upset my sister, who's already going through a lot. And maybe she was pregnant when this happened. I don't know the timeline necessarily.
Sure.
But, so he doesn't tell her. And speaking of,
Always tell.
I know,
'Cause
but I do understand.
I totally get it, but when it's like violence like that, your sister's at higher risk by
Right.
not knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not saying it's this guy's fault. He's doing
No.
the best he can.
You're trying
but
to, as a PSA to other people in that situation, it's a tough situation.
I totally understand that, but
Right.
if he's showing that kind of violence to his brother-in-law,
Yeah.
you better believe he's going to show it to her.
She's
And
the one
slamming
sleeping with him
heads
at
into
night.
walls is
That's a
such an
specific-
abuser-specific thing.
Yeah.
It's like spitting in the face or choking.
It's so dehumanizing and
It's
Yeah.
it's
Violent.
different than getting into like a manly
we got into a bar
scrap.
brawl and
Yeah.
tackled
it's
each other.
totally
and
not a man scrap thing. It's
No.
like
it's a control and power
it's
thing.
Yes.
dirty.
Yes.
It's dirty fighting.
Yeah. It's a very classic abuser move. Anyway, speaking of stress, there is a lot of it going around. Obviously, having a new baby can be stressful, all the more so when you're worried about finances. Money was getting tight, and at the same time, Raven was having trouble at work. Trouble entirely of his own making, of course.
Of course.
So he'd been caught stealing merchandise from the sporting goods store and was arrested for embezzlement, and then he ultimately pled guilty to theft charges. So I think like he had been stealing so much merchandise that at first it was embezzlement, but then it got lowered to theft.
Yeah, maybe he gave something back or did some, had some agreement to lower those charges.
Right. So this dude is like a really shitty Mormon, and like there's a long list of shitty Mormons, but like he's shitty on a lot of fronts.
Yeah, to win the award for being a shitty Mormon is like not super hard considering some of the leaders in that community, but
It's competitive.
he's fighting for it. Yeah, it's competitive.
So on the night of April 26th, 2005, Raven leaves the house to blow off some steam by playing in his indoor soccer league with friends.
Oh, ew.
I think sometimes Janet also played in this league because remember, she's also really athletic and sporty and loved soccer. But she can't make it this night, April 26th.
It does seem like a hyper Mormon activity, an indoor
Indoor soccer.
league.
It's just so vanilla.
It's so beige. It's the beigest thing I've ever heard
really
of.
is.
Yeah. So Janet can't make it. She's going to bed early. So he plays soccer, and on his way home, he stops at a convenience store to pick up some snacks.
And does Janet know that he's been fired and had all this?
I believe
Shit at work?
So, because I think, obviously, I don't think she knew he had been stealing. But when shit hit the fan and he was then facing charges and was fired, then she found out because then now they don't have that income anymore.
Right. Okay.
So he gets home around 10 p.m. and he finds his wife, Janet, dead in their bed, covered in blood. And she was just 25 years old.
Oh my God. With a baby.
Yeah. And how old was Caden at that point?
Caden was still,
Like an infant.
like an infant or little young toddler. I don't know exactly, but young.
Poor Bubby. I hate the name Caden, but poor Bubby.
Yeah.
And his alibis, I was at my indoor soccer game.
Yeah, I was playing intramural soccer.
Ew.
Barf. I'm on the beige team.
We're playing taupe.
It's beige versus taupe tonight. I can't miss this game. Beige versus biscuit.
Greige.
Greige.
Greige versus taupe. It's the big one.
It's the big one.
Regionals.
We've been training all year for this.
We might have to play eggshell in the finals.
No one has ever beaten Eggshell. Holy shit. Oh my God.
Okay, so. Oh my God. Okay, no, this is so sad, but we need like.
Oh no, I forgot she was found dead in her bed covered in blood.
So sad. It's so sad, but we just need like to release some of that nervous energy.
Yeah, and he's a fucking monster.
He's a monster. So he calls 911 hysterically crying and repeating to the operator that his wife is dead and that she has been shot. Paramedics arrive at the house, but there was nothing they could do. And at 5 a.m. the next day, Raven called Janet's family and explained to them that Janet had died by suicide and that she'd shot herself.
Which had not been confirmed or told to him by police, I'm assuming.
Oh, no.
Shouldn't have been allowed to make that call.
We're about to get to it, but yeah, just traumatize the family even more.
Also, you know what I learned from The Thing About Pam? The Thing About Pam.
They made love.
Oh, they made love. Is that when you call 911, before the operator responds or even like...
Yeah, it's already recording.
They're already recording you.
So if you wait to start hysterically crying...
They know they can clock that silence and notice if there's if you're acting on the phone.
cool.
And that could be like entered into evidence, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
if you don't start the waterworks until they pick up,
They
know.
answer. Mm-hmm. It's sus.
It's Jean. It's Jean. Oh gosh, it's Jean.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Okay, so he tells the family that their fucking 25-year-old beautiful daughter and like young mom has died by suicide.
No.
None of them believe him. None of them think Janet would ever even consider suicide. They didn't think that she would ever leave Caden. There had not been anything leading up to this.
No.
It didn't track. Okay. And I know people are going to say, like, sometimes, you don't see the warning signs of suicide. And yes, that is true. But when every single person that knows you is like, nah, dude, that doesn't track, then that's meaningful, I think. Oh, also, one slight problem. It didn't take long for the autopsy report to reveal that, lo and behold, she hadn't even been shot. She'd been stabbed multiple times.
The knives.
Oh my God.
It's giving, what's that fucking case that I just did? Not Mandy.
I got it. I closed it. I figured it out.
Good job.
All the babies are safe.
Good. So much for the suicide spin. Like,
Are you talking about Candy?
Candy
Montgomery?
Yeah, when, obviously the neighbor discovered her and was like, oh my God, she'd been shot because there's just blood everywhere, but she'd actually been killed with an axe.
Right.
And then people immediately were like, oh, maybe she killed herself.
Right.
But Soup's not what happened.
Soups did not axe herself in the back of the head.
So is that why he said she's been shot so he could push this suicide thing?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not suicide if someone's been stabbed multiple times. That's not suicide.
Yeah.
So investigators also get suspicious when they are cataloging all the contents of the home, taking photos and videos in every room of the house, and they notice that Janet's wedding and engagement ring aren't on her finger, but are instead sitting on the kitchen counter.
Sounds like my fucking husband.
I take mine off to do the
Leaves
dishes.
his ring on the kitchen counter all the goddamn time. Never fucking wears it. It feels weird. Well, so does being your wife. Put the ring on. Okay.
Zach
Jesus
lost
Christ.
his in the ocean, but now he has a new one, so it's okay.
I
My
take
God.
mine off to do the dishes, but
I don't. I just don't take mine off. But, okay. Then they notice that Raven's laptop is missing, as is one of the knives in his fucking knife collection. And he doesn't seem to have an explanation for the laptop, but he claims that the knife in question had gone missing right before the murder. It's recently. Yeah.
he really thought this whole thing out.
Right. And if there had been an intruder, like a burglary, presumably they would have taken the fucking diamond ring.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
No.
There are no signs of forced entry, but police do find a bloody footprint and fingerprint. And so without a shadow of a doubt, this is not a suicide like Raven had tried to spin it to Janet's poor family.
Yeah, only to immediately be like, nah, this ain't it, but
Yeah. This was unmistakably a murder. So Janet's family holds a vigil in downtown Durham, hoping to bring more eyes to the case. And attendees wore purple ribbons in honor of Janet. And even though she hadn't lived in Durham long, like, her death really rocked the community. Like, she had already made a lot of friends, and she just
lit up a room.
She genuinely lit up a room. Like, I know that is a cliche, but like, some people do, and life
Really
is
do.
not fair.
Never light up a room. Puts a target on your back.
it does.
So everyone is desperate to get more information about the case, except, curiously, for Raven, who quickly packs up and moves with Caden to Mormon Mecca, Salt Lake City.
Of course he does.
Leaves Durham.
Go be protected even more by the church.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess just to cover the whole board in like suspicious bingo, Raven took out a life insurance policy on Janet right before.
How many hours before he killed her?
Right before she had announced her pregnancy.
Before or after?
Before. Or after. Sorry, right after she'd announced her pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
So he
makes a
waited.
little bit of sense. But
I mean,
still,
yeah,
the fact that
it's
he ended up
less sus.
murdering her.
So, yes, it's pregnancy and birth are risky. You're married. It makes sense to have life insurance. And usually, like, like Zach and I finally signed our wills and stuff once Sonia was born, because it was like, we should have our shit together for her.
Mm-hmm.
I should get a will.
What's a little bit less understandable is the fact that he filed for that life insurance payment before she'd even been buried.
What?
Yep.
What?
It was like the
what
first
a
thing he did.
scumbag.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck this guy.
It's gotta be
And,
like,
like-
the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Like, granted, like, she couldn't have been buried within like the first week because like there was an autopsy,
doing an
they're
investigation
investigating,
and-
whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm
But
sure
still. Do it after the funeral.
Yeah, but he's in financial straits and he wants to
Yeah.
move. So he does it immediately.
Right. And he killed her. So
And he killed her. But we're getting to that. So obviously to anyone like with eyes and brain cells, Raven is fucking guilty as sin. But
Right.
there's zero physical evidence tying him to the crime.
because he was at soccer ball.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer ball.
The footprint in the house didn't match Raven, neither did the fingerprint. Police cannot arrest him. So at least not yet. They don't have enough to arrest him. So he moves to Salt Lake City, and very quickly he meets a woman named Vanessa Pond.
Oh my God. Run, Pond, run.
Yeah, you're next, honey.
So like Janet, at first she felt Raven came on a bit strong, and she
Yeah.
wasn't really interested in a relationship.
Oh my
Y'all
God.
trust that intuition.
Mm-hmm.
No
trust
means
it.
no.
But over time, he charmed her while they were both at daycare picking up their kids.
Ugh. If a potential partner has to literally wear you down, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
There's a difference between like, I need to get to know you better before
Yes,
whatever,
of course.
and fucking you came on a bit strong. Like that is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's your body telling you like
Ugh. Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Something's off.
So like Raven, Vanessa is also a single parent, and she's also Mormon. And she admired the fact that he was raising this child all on his own. At first, Vanessa has no clue that Raven is the prime suspect in his former
Wife's
wife's
murder.
murder. And
That happened 8 minutes ago.
he told her a sob story about how an intruder broke into their house and killed his wife while she was sleeping. And he's this like devastated widower, single dad. Amanda's like losing it.
I can't.
But this still is like
so
a
much.
few weeks after the murder.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
But after hearing this,
I forgot we were on video. You could just see my
your glare.
Oh my god. Okay. We can do this.
But after hearing this, Vanessa obviously wanted more information, and she does some digging. Yes, girl. And she finds out that Raven's neat and tidy little story doesn't exactly match up with the case file, and that this is still very much an open investigation, and there were no
it
signs
happened
of an intruder.
this morning.
Yeah.
The morning of his arrival in Salt Lake City.
happened
He's a
over
fugitive. Yeah.
So Vanessa starts to
Holy
have
shit.
significant doubts that maybe her new suitor is guilty of murder.
Maybe. Please tell me she breaks up with him.
But rather than run for the hills,
I hope she lures him.
Vanessa confronts Raven and gives him a chance to explain himself.
No, he's gonna
that's
fucking
only
kill you,
fair.
dude. That's only fair.
No, like I'm saying that sarcastically, obviously. Don't ever give a man a chance to explain himself.
No.
Literally never. Even if it's reasonable.
Especially not a blonde man.
Even if it's reasonable.
Don't care.
You won't have time to find out if it's reasonable. Don't give him that chance.
Yeah, do not give him the chance.
And after a very long talk, they talked it out. He manages to convince her that not only is he innocent, but that he is being framed.
Oh my god.
Just like that tiger shark.
So he knows that she's like waffling, and he's like, I gotta lock this shit down before she can have a chance to doubt me again. So
Or
he
tell anyone.
So he lays it on thick, and he asks Vanessa's parents for her hand in marriage.
No! His wife was just brutal, according to him, brutally murdered.
Ew.
I understand that, like, straight men can't last fucking 5 minutes without a woman, but this is too much.
Yikes.
So news gets back to Janet's family through the Mormon grapevine, and they decide to call Vanessa and warn her about her new fiance, which is absolutely the right move. But
great dance move.
Mormon karaoke.
Love the Mormon grapevine.
But the pull of love and denial is strong, and she marries him anyway.
No.
God, honey, no. You know what? At this point, no sympathy for her. I get it. He's real charming, whatever. You fucking made your bed, girl. As someone who notoriously hates women, this is her fault. I'm over it. I'm done with her. Goodbye. Bye.
Well,
bye.
You
she doesn't end
notoriously hate women?
I do now because of her.
So by now it's 2008, and they are on their way to their honeymoon in, where else? Las Vegas.
Ish. Love
Classic.
Vegas. Not for a honeymoon.
Mormons love Vegas.
They do.
Yeah, Mormons notoriously love Vegas.
When Raven starts to talk about how angry he could get at Janet, at his first wife, there were just times where he could get so angry at her.
Oh my God.
That is so unhinged to talk to your new wife about at your honeymoon.
Oh, just wait.
Or just in general, but like specifically.
When she was murdered.
Just wait. Then his demeanor changed suddenly. He got really close to Vanessa and said, quote, "I promise I'll never hurt you."
Oh. You in danger, girl.
Oh.
You been in danger, girl.
Pond. Run, pond.
Fucking
Run, pond,
what?
run.
Jesus.
Like, you made your bed, but I still don't want you to get killed, so please get the fuck out of there, pond.
So unsurprisingly, it doesn't take long for this absolute psycho narcissist dipshit to break his promise.
Uh-huh.
He
And
starts
hurt her.
He starts with verbal abuse and then escalates to physical abuse.
Yeah.
Also, plenty of gaslighting.
Yep.
Raven would grab Vanessa, throw her into walls,
Oh, I forgot his name was Raven. Mm-hmm.
and then try to convince her that he'd just tripped and that it was an accident.
Okay. Is that what he did to his ex-wife's brother-in-law, too? Tripped and slammed his head into a wall?
Jesus Christ. Oops, I fell.
The patterns.
So Vanessa quickly realizes that she's been duped, that this has all been a huge mistake. Like,
This guy's a psycho.
this guy's a psycho and whatever. So just
I gotta get out of this.
Yeah. Just 4 months into their marriage, she leaves, which took
Good.
a lot of bravery and chutzpah. So good for her.
Yeah, if she hadn't left, she would be dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
she
Guaranteed.
has since spoken publicly about how she knows that if she stayed, she would have become Raven Albaro's next victim.
Yep.
Yep.
So while all of this is going
Wow.
on, Janet's family has not given up their quest for justice. They start piecing together all of Raven's lies, going back to their very first meeting with him. For example, it turns out that not only had Raven never gone to Peru on a mission trip, which was like the thing that made them like him,
Come on.
Like, oh,
that
what
was
a great
like
guy.
the linchpin.
he'd never even trained for mission work. He'd never even
Cool.
come close to going on any mission.
Which is wild because that's like a whole
It's a whole thing. It's a whole 2-year thing.
for especially the young men and boys in the Mormon church. That's like what you do.
He just made it up. He just was like, I want this status. I'm just going to say I did it.
So was he even Mormon at all?
I think so. I think it's pretty hard to fake being Mormon. I think there's a lot of insider baseball that you need to
Sure.
know.
It's yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but not Mormon enough to go on a mission.
Right. Well, not everyone goes on a mission. I think it,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
like hardcore Mormons
Right.
do.
Right. He just didn't want to deal with it. It was too much work. Then the family finds out how dire the couple's finances had been towards the end, and that the church was financially supporting them after Raven's arrest and firing. But even when money was so tight that they had to seek charity just to put food on the table, there was one monthly bill that Raven never missed. Can you guess what that was for?
Was it like what, child support or something?
No, because he has the kid.
Well, I know, but maybe from a previous
Janet's
relationship.
life insurance policy.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Didn't have one
Okay.
on himself.
Yep. But hers always got paid.
Yep. Did not let that lapse. Because that was
Okay.
his parachute.
Yeah.
Now it's 2009. This poor family has been waiting for answers on this case for 4 years. And like, they know he did it. They just.
They don't have the smoking gun yet.
Right.
They have a lot of good circumstantial
Yes.
evidence,
Yeah.
which would likely hold up in court, but they often won't even press charges on circumstantial evidence alone.
Yeah, they have not been able to arrest him or press charges.
Yeah. Oh, this poor family.
So finally.
I can't even imagine the agony of knowing
Yeah.
who fucking killed your child
Yeah.
and not, oh, I just got chills, and not being able to fucking do anything about it.
Yeah. Finally, one of her sisters goes on ABC's show Primetime Crime to bring attention to the case. Just one day after the episode aired, the Durham Police Department announced it was putting a new detective on this cold case,
Okay, good.
hoping a set of fresh eyes would shift something. And you don't get that joke yet, but you're about to.
Fresh
God.
eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Does she have eyes when she was murdered?
She did have eyes when she was murdered. Correct. As most but not all people do. Okay, Detective Charles Soule does what every great detective on a cold case does, and he goes over everything, all the previous evidence collected in painstaking detail, right? And he gets hung up on one particular detail. Investigators never found in the home Janet's contact lenses.
Okay, weird.
So this fact stuck with him because Raven had claimed that his wife was already in bed for the night watching TV when he'd left
She
to
would have
play
taken
soccer.
him out. Yeah.
So he says that, like, literally he saw her in bed. She was in bed watching TV when he left.
Was she wearing was she wearing her glasses? So, like, if she's in bed, it would indicate she'd already taken out her contact lenses. But if she's watching TV,
We're going to get to it.
okay.
All of Janet's friends and family, all of them, swore that she would always take her contacts out before she got in bed and watch TV. So she didn't leave her contacts in to do that nighttime watching because she would like fall asleep watching TV.
Got it. So she doesn't really need to see the picture.
A
Right.
rigid nighttime routine.
Yes.
Yes, girl.
Yes. So she doesn't want to fall asleep wearing her contacts. So she always takes them out before she gets into bed for the night.
Got it. Okay.
So Detective Soule does something really interesting. He calls Charles Zwirling, an ophthalmologist, to ask if it would be possible to identify contact lenses from a body after it has been buried for 5 years.
5 years.
Oh my goodness.
And-
And what did he say?
And Zwirling said that contact lenses do disintegrate over time,
But they could very well still be there.
theoretically it was possible.
Oh my God.
Dig her
okay,
up.
dig her up. Let's go.
So
Fucking
Soule calls for Janet Abaroa's body to be exhumed, but remember, Raven is still her next of kin,
Yeah, so he has to like sign off on it.
and he objects.
No.
Fuck you, Raven. Fuck.
And then he gets his lawyers involved to try to prevent it.
Of course he fucking does, because he's guilty as fucking. I hate him.
So there's a lot of back and forth about the potential validity of this evidence. It takes years, like courts are involved determining whether or not the state has the right to exhume her for this investigation. But finally, in 2013, Janet's body is exhumed.
Yes.
And,
okay.
and the ophthalmologist, Swirling, receives an evidence package from investigators. Inside, there was a plastic bottle holding shreds of yellowed, shriveled contact lenses
Boom.
that had been removed from Janet's eyes.
Boom. The shriveled gun.
That's how I feel after a really long day and your eyes are already dry and you're taking out your contacts and they're like kind of hard and dry. Blech.
It's why, like,
have
I wore
never
contacts
worn
for
them.
like 2 years and hated it.
I wore them every day for probably 15 years. And that's why
Yeah,
I
you
can't
really
wear
did.
them anymore.
Yeah, I'm team glasses all the way. Contacts are so uncomfortable.
I can't
Bill
even,
will
like-
fall asleep in his. It's shocking.
No, they'll glue to your eyeball. That's
I know.
My
He
cousin
claims that he has the kind that it's okay to sleep in, and I'm like, all right, tell that to your eye surgeon.
My
when
cousin
that day
had
comes.
that and it fused to her eye, and when she tried to take them out, they took it pulled a piece of her eyeball out.
Yeah, he doesn't do it very often anymore, but he very much used to. So
She had to go to the eye doctor to get it, to get her contacts out.
Scraped.
I cannot.
Get it out.
Scraped.
Scraped. Scrape your eyeball out.
Yeah, babe.
I can barely do
babe.
eye drops. Like, I cannot.
Oh no, you could never with contacts.
No,
you could never.
I couldn't.
You gotta get in there.
I wouldn't even have the depth perception to put them in right. Anyway, okay.
No, I don't trust you within a mile of contacts.
No.
Or my eyes.
Okay. So the ophthalmologist, Zwirling, washes the plastic with a saline solution and a fragment bloomed open. Like the contact basically rehydrated.
Yeah.
Unshriveled itself a little bit, and it revealed an identification number.
Ooh.
So that number matched the brand that Janet used, AccuView 2.
Oh, I used to use those.
So it was a 1, 2, 3 was the number on the contact lens.
Okay.
That's the only thing it would have been. So you can tell if it's inside out or not.
Oh, okay. Personally, I think the fact that they dug her up and pulled them from her cold, dead eyes would have been proof enough.
Yeah,
But
sure.
but hey, I guess they were not taking any chances.
No, let's be really sure.
This was proof enough that Janet was wearing her contacts when she died. She had never taken them out.
Oh, wow.
And actually, they really weren't taking any chances because Zwirling also had to prove that these lenses could dehydrate and then hydrate, that his method was
Legitimate.
legit.
Yeah.
Cool.
So he backed up these methods with a paper published in 2000 by a forensic archaeologist who had experimented with burying contact lenses on pig eyes to see how
Ooh.
they degrade over time.
Cool.
Okay, listen, I love it.
Because obviously pig eyes are closest to human eyes, as we know. They're just a
Pig
little
eye
bit
girl
bigger.
summer.
Pig eye girl summer.
Hog girl fall, baby.
Hog eye girl.
And just to be extra safe, Zwirling
Jesus.
decided to try the pig eye experiment himself. He was on it. He was
Yeah.
into it.
There will be no holes in my theory
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Good. Good
So-
for him.
So he first learned to embalm bodies.
Oh my god, he's Lucy.
He's Lucy. And then used the UK pig eye technique from that paper on 2 different sets of pig eyes with contact lenses on them.
Cool.
To replicate, I told you Lucy would love that. To replicate the conditions that Janet's body was buried in, he wrapped each in funeral linens and placed the eyes into miniature wooden caskets.
The devil's in the details,
crossing
baby.
his T's and dotting
Dotting
his
his pig
eyes.
eyes.
His pig eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Then he buried them and waited 6 months to dig one up, like specimen
Wow,
A, and then
the
another
patience.
6 months, so 1 year total, to dig up specimen B.
Cool.
All of this is to say, Janet's contacts were still in, which meant
Yep.
that she wasn't in bed getting ready to go to sleep like Raven had claimed.
Yep.
He had lied directly to the police. In March of 2013, Raven Albaroa was tried for the murder of his wife. The murder case really hung on these discrepancies in his testimony.
Yep.
Shockingly, though, the trial ended in a hung jury, 11-1. There was one holdout.
Ugh.
But before a new trial could begin the next year, the DA accepted an Alford plea from Raven. So that means that he's
Guilty on paper.
Pled guilty, but
maintained
done
his
with this.
innocence, but took the plea so he could get a shorter sentence.
Yep.
And it worked. So he was in prison, but he was already out by Christmas Day 2017.
Holy
So
shit.
he was in prison for
Jesus.
less than 4 years,
Wow. For killing his fucking wife.
killing his wife.
dang.
Oh my god. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Give me those pig eyes. I want more of the
hate him.
pig eyes and linens.
So much.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit.
He sucks, dude.
And thank
Yeah.
God Vanessa got away from him.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And I just feel terrible for Janet because she just was a lovely
She was
person
young
who
and-
was very important to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. My God. Well done.
What a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pig eyes are really something.
Yeah.
Really something special.
Between
Something
the very
very
rigid
special.
bedtime routine and the whole pig eye thing, the ophthalmologist, this was a Lucy case.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a very rigid routine.
You definitely do.
Last night, he doesn't usually want to like cuddle or snuggle, but last night Corey was trying to cuddle and snuggle, and I was like, I am trying to
I have a very rigid
apply
nighttime
my
routine.
lotion. You need to back the fuck off.
Yeah. You don't want to be sweaty while applying lotion. That's
I
the
need
worst.
both hands. I need
Yeah.
to concentrate. Just get off my shoulder. Give me 10 fucking minutes. Jesus. Yeah.
I hate it. I'm not a cuddler either.
No.
I'm a big cuddler, but I
We know.
have my limits.
When Zach's not around, you cuddle anything that moves.
I do. And
Or doesn't move.
So does Sonia. Sonia definitely got that from me. She needs to be touching me
Yeah.
all the time.
Created a monster.
She's so
Yeah.
cute.
At least you like it.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, should we hear a quick word from our sponsors?
Yes, AccuView 2.
They really hold up.
They last.
5 years at least.
You can sleep in
Underground.
them. You can even die in them.
You can rehydrate them.
Support for today's episode comes from Relatable. This one's from a citizen detectives out there. All of you listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
If you love nothing more than a juicy mystery or an unsolved case, you will love Relatable's newest game, Who Killed Mia?
It's so fun, y'all.
Who Killed Mia? You may know them from their internet famous party games like What Do You Meme? Yes. Let's Get Deep and New Phone Who Dis.
LOL.
Corey tried to say that to me the other day. I was like, carrying your child. So, with all of those gems out there, you know their first foray into a murder mystery game is going to be unlike anything else out there, and it truly is.
Y'all, it is so fun. So just for a little background on this game in particular, Who Killed Mia is a murder mystery story for like the internet age, the millennials, the Gen Zs. It's centered around the fictional but incredibly realistic influencer Mia Starr and her untimely death at the Replay Awards, and players work to solve the case using a mix of physical and immersive digital evidence like hacking into Mia's phone.
Yes, I've always wanted to hack.
Yeah. As well as gripping live-action videos to uncover the killer, and this sensational game is available on the Relatable website, as well as at Target, Walmart, Amazon. You can follow along on Instagram at Real Mia Star and Who Killed Mia. And I brought this to like a brunch party, like an afternoon brunch hangout, and did it with like 6 other people.
Fun.
It was so much fun. We kind of like split up the evidence for each evidence pack, and then we'd all become like experts in the couple pieces of evidence that we had. And then we'd work together, you know, to answer the questions. It was so cool. And then, yeah, it's like you're solving puzzles. You're literally putting together puzzles. You're watching videos. You're like going and hacking into websites. Like it has so many different fun little hooks, and I am obsessed with it.
Dynamic.
Yeah.
So calling all true crime junkies, Who Killed Mia is for all my game lovers and detectives out there. Get this game for your next game night and find out who killed the world's favorite influencer in Who Killed Mia, a new kind of murder mystery game from Relatable, the creators of the hit game What Do You Meme, and get 20% off with promo code GALS at relatable.com/Who Killed Mia. Citizen detectives, it's your time to shine.
All right. Shall we?
Yes.
Okay, so this case is super fucking sad.
Great.
Big surprise.
Yeah, so buckle up. But the detail that led to a conclusion I thought was fucking incredible. So here we go. On the afternoon of March 9th, 1979, police in Salem, Oregon received a call that a resident of Fairview Training Center, a state-run facility for people with developmental disabilities, was missing. Quote, police received a call of what they called a walkaway, said Steve Hinkle, a detective with the Oregon State Police, in an interview with A&E True Crime.
Yes.
The walkaway was identified to be Janie Landers, an 18-year-old resident who had a prior history of running away, but she would always walk back according to her sister, Joyce Caldwell. So she would like go off campus, tootle around, roam.
Which they're not,
and
the residents are not supposed to do, I'm sure.
they're not supposed to do, but we also find out later in this case that like there is a history of abuse in this facility.
Okay.
And so it wasn't uncommon for residents to leave and then
Be
return
forced to return.
Yeah, for multitudes of reasons. Maybe they would go home and then their families would bring them back, or they'd be picked up by police, or they would just run into like the realization that I don't know what to do now that I'm not on campus, so I'm gonna just go back, or I just needed to cool off or whatever.
Right.
Police put out an all points bulletin in APB that described Janie as a young white girl with blue eyes and light brown hair, standing only 5'1" and 105 pounds, and with the cognitive capacity of about an 8-year-old.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Then they started interviewing the staff and residents at Fairview, and it was established that a teacher named Bill Graff was one of the last to see her on the Fairview grounds. Quote, Graff told investigators that around 2 p.m., Janie stomped out of his classroom, and Graff told A&E True Crime that Janie was upset because he'd informed her that insurance changes meant he could no longer work with her one-on-one. Like the coverage
Maybe because she had turned 18 and so that her insurance probably
wouldn't
changed.
cover it anymore. Yeah. Graff assumed Janie was headed for the on-campus group home where she lived with several other roommates, but her roommates told the police she never arrived there after class.
Okay.
An interview with a staff nurse named Leona Ways said she had seen Janie as she was arriving for her late afternoon shift around 2 p.m. And she had seen her a few blocks from campus. Like Leona was driving to work and saw her a few blocks from campus talking to a man next to a gold car. Quote, the man was standing close to the resident who was later identified as Janie, and Ways felt like something was off. But Fairview had strict rules about staff members interacting with residents off campus, and Janie was technically off campus.
Okay.
So Ways continued her drive to work.
Which I'm sure is part of an insurance thing. Like you can't be sending
Probably.
residents like way off campus to try to bring them back or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
no.
staff. Yeah.
Yep. So Leona gave a description to the police detailing a middle-aged man with shaggy brown hair and a bit of a potbelly. A description that almost perfectly matched Billy Graff.
Oh, this motherfucker.
Well,
Never
Okay.
trust a bill.
5 days
Billy
later,
Go Graff.
after Janie's disappearance, the body of a young woman was found face down in some brush on a rural swath of land outside of Salem. She was identified as Janie, and the condition of her remains made it clear that she had been murdered. And it was assumed that she had been stabbed to death by looking at her remains. Quote, investigators combed the area where Janie was found and decided the woods were just a dump site for her body. Janie was very much likely killed elsewhere.
Okay, so it's not
As a
the
result-
crime scene.
Yep.
Organized killer.
Well, yeah. As a result, there was little evidence at the scene, says Hinkle, this detective that's been working on this case in more modern times. He got this cold case and was working on it within the last several years. But detectives did find a few clues. Among the clues were a few hairs clutched in her fist. Good girl.
Yeah.
Rip that motherfucker's hair out.
Yeah.
One earring left in her ear, the mate of which was missing from the crime scene. And her cause of death turned out to be blunt force trauma to the head. The stabbings were not actually what killed her, but they also weren't post-mortem.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. God. Oh, that's horrible. Okay.
Yep. A rape kit revealed that Janie had not been assaulted as far as they could tell. There was no semen, there were no abrasions,
Okay.
you know, so she likely had not been raped. We don't know if anything else, other abuse may have been done, but there was no semen or additional DNA collected that could point to a suspect.
Okay.
And this is the 70s. It's 1979.
Right,
So,
so-
the hair really could only serve if they found another suspect in comparison.
Right.
They cannot pull DNA the way that they can now
Right.
from that evidence. So, still suspecting Bill Graff, who fit the description, they went back to him for further investigation. He had been not only a teacher, but a counselor of Janie's, and the two were allegedly close. The police believed he could have easily lured her off of the property, though there were no witnesses to confirm this, and Leona was not able to confirm if the man she saw was indeed Graff, and I don't think it was the same car that he drove either.
Okay.
And he immediately agreed to do a polygraph, and he passed with flying colors.
Okay.
So, like,
I'm sorry
this guy
I suspected you.
yeah, you can trust a pill.
But
He did work at a facility that, like, notoriously abused their patients, so he probably was still not the best. But either way,
Allegedly.
he was eliminated as a suspect. An incident that occurred a few months prior between Janie and her roommate Cheryl gave police reason to look into Cheryl and her boyfriend Ray. Apparently, Janie and Cheryl got into a big fight over what they fought about is not exactly clear, but like they're roommates at a group home. There's any number of things that they could have been pissed off at each other about.
Yeah.
But there had been mounting tension between the roommates for several months. This allegedly culminated in Janie getting so mad at Cheryl that she dumped hot chili all over her.
Oh
Causing multiple burns that required medical treatment.
my God.
Well, yeah. When you have diminished capacity and
Yeah.
you
get angry and upset.
Yeah.
This shit like this
Less
can happen.
impulse control and yeah.
So, could Ray have abducted and killed Janie to avenge his girlfriend Cheryl for the chili incident?
Was Ray also a resident?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
He had apparently made comments before about his dislike of Janie and even suggested that he wanted to harm her. But ultimately, there was no evidence that could link him to this crime, or anyone to this crime for that matter. And after 2 years of investigating this case, it went cold in 1981. 10 years later, in 1991, Cheryl, the roommate, popped back up on investigators' radar. She contacted them because she and Ray had since broken up, and she wanted to share information that she had previously kept secret to protect him.
Ooh.
She claimed to have seen one of Janie's earrings in Ray's truck. And as we know, Janie was found with only one earring on.
Ew.
This was a detail that had not been shared with the general public, so they were compelled to track Ray down once again and search his vehicle. Unfortunately for them, they were too late, and the truck had been out of Ray's possession for years at that point.
Yeah, 10 years later.
Yep. So once again, they have no evidence to link him to the crime. They can't charge him with anything. 14 more years went by with no movement on this case.
Oh my God.
Janie's little sister Joyce was still advocating for her and called the Oregon State Police, pleading with them to reopen the case, citing advancements in DNA technology to get them to comb over the evidence for new leads. She was killed in 1979, and it's now 2014.
Jeez.
Or in that ballpark. And Joyce is like, for the love of God,
Please reopen this
look
case.
over this fucking DNA again, or look over any of this shit again.
Yeah, there could easily be some like epithelial, whatever DNA evidence
The
on
hair.
Yeah, the hair. Okay. Okay.
So they do. And this guy Hinkle, the police officer that's now taking over this case, says, quote, "I knew when I got assigned it that it was a very low statistical likelihood that we'd solve it, especially after that amount of time had gone by. There was very little DNA evidence to review, and the hairs collected didn't have the bulb. So a DNA profile couldn't be pulled from the hair, and without anybody to compare the hair to, it was rendered kind of useless." But Hinkle and a new team of investigators reviewed the coroner's report and found a tiny, seemingly insignificant detail about the stab wounds on Janie's body. The detail was not something that was there, but something that was missing.
Her contacts.
I wish. Most knives have a hilt to protect the user's hand from sliding off the handle and coming into contact with the blade.
Not this one.
When an
It
individual is
does. It
stabbed,
has a little bit of a lip.
it has a little lip,
yeah, like
but not
that.
like a true, like,
Yeah.
a lot of the, these
Like a
stabby knives
dagger
will have
has
like
a real.
a true hilt.
Yeah.
Because even like a cooking knife might have a little bit of a lip, but that's not technically a hilt.
Check my other knives and see if they have hilts.
Do a little inventory.
Okay.
So when an individual is stabbed with the level of force that was present in Janie's case, the hilt will leave bruising or abrasions around the entrance wounds.
Oh, that makes sense.
And these bruises or abrasions were missing from Janie's wounds, indicating the knife used did not have a hilt. And that meant that the attacker very likely cut his hand in the process of stabbing Janie. Hinkle was hopeful that the blood on Janie's shirt could be mixed with the attacker's blood.
Yeah.
And that they just could not have figured that out all those years ago. So he sent her shirt to the lab for further testing.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Sure enough, Among Janie's DNA, they found a completely different DNA profile and submitted their findings to CODIS, hoping for a match. The miracles in this discovery continued when they got a match, and a solid one at that.
Ooh.
A man named Gerald Dunlap, who had worked in Fairview's laundry in 1979.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Oh my
So
God.
Generation Y did a great blog on this case. I don't know if they also covered it on their show, but they had a really good blog that popped up. So here's a quote from their blog. It said, quote, Dunlap was a convicted sex offender who had been arrested and convicted in the 60s and got out on parole in the early 70s.
And then was
And
allowed
took
to
a
work
job at the
around all these vulnerable people. Oh my
Yup.
God.
It was revealed that when he was released from prison, he had moved to Salem, Oregon, where he got married and landed himself a job at the Fairview training facility working as a laundry assistant. Payroll records indicated that Dunlap had clocked into work on the day of her disappearance and murder and within the timeline structure of Janie's disappearance. He was never thoroughly questioned despite matching many elements of the composite sketch. And I actually have the sketch on the drive, which will be on the blog, as well as a photo of Dunlap. And you can definitely see similarities. Like, it's fairly striking, though I won't say that it's a slam dunk comparison. So I'm not going to say that, like, that was really
Yeah, but we
fucked up
also
that they
don't
didn't.
know about, like, the photo of Dunlap is from years later than the sketch. So maybe back then.
Well, the photo of Dunlap is his mugshot from 1972, and I guess
So
the
before.
composite sketch would have been in 1979. So, like, it is years later, but I don't think enough years for there to be, like, a huge change.
The nose and this part look a lot
yeah.
alike.
The mouth, like the smile
upper lip.
lines,
I think
and
it's
also
pretty,
even just the vibe of the eyes, pretty
I think
spot
it's
on.
pretty good. Maybe
It's definitely striking.
if he had more hair in 79.
And he very well may have.
Right. Yeah.
Grown his hair out a little
He's
bit,
also got
gained
scary
a little weight.
eyes.
He's out of prison.
He's got scary
so
eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking really creepy.
This poor girl.
So it was failure to be thorough that brought Dunlap onto the Fairview staff in the first place, which comes as no surprise given the known history of abuse that occurred on the grounds throughout its operation from 1907 to 2000 when it finally closed.
The devil is in the details.
Yep, exactly. Investigations into the unnatural deaths occurring in Oregon state institutions over a 25-year span that was conducted from 1963 to 1987 revealed abuse as well as an alarming number of, quote, accidental deaths at the Fairview facility. So when Dunlap, a convicted sex offender registered in California, applied for the position, Fairview failed to run a background check outside of Oregon, which, like, under a lot of employment situations, a background check isn't even required, but employees of a facility working with a vulnerable population is a totally different story.
Right.
Fairview claimed at the time they were unable to do nationwide background checks, but any kind of follow-up on his employment and residential history linked him to California, where they could have requested that information from authorities, and they simply did not.
Right.
You know, they're not going to be able to pull, like,
They just
a nationwide background check,
just
but
were
they
like,
knew he came there from
passed
California.
The Oregon background check done. They didn't think about it.
Yep. They knew he'd moved there from California
But
within the last, like, 7 years and didn't even bother
are
getting
background checks now mostly nationwide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, now we have, like, massive databases for that shit. So he had served 12 years of a 99-year sentence in Tennessee for a rape conviction.
Oh my
God.
God. How,
Dunlap. I know.
What is even the purpose
What
of
is the point?
sentencing if it's going to be, if the discrepancy is going to be that huge?
Yep.
What is the
Didn't even
point?
serve 20 years. He served 12 years. Dunlap continued to abuse children and was incarcerated in 1996 because he was never fucking caught for killing Janie in 1979. So he was incarcerated in 1996 for first-degree sexual abuse of a minor female family member. Fortunately, he fucking died in prison in the early 2000s.
Bye-bye. But yeah, if he had just been
Yeah, looked into at all.
looked into at all or actually served a sentence
That he was,
given. Or all of
Yeah.
these lives,
yeah,
all of this
could have been saved.
trauma could have been prevented.
An interview with Dunlap's surviving wife revealed that he had owned a gold sedan matching the witness description of the car that Janie was seen next to on the day of her murder, and a former Fairview employee confirmed in an interview that Dunlap was known to offer rides to patients in that very car.
How did the investigators at the time not ask for a list of employees and then find their vehicles?
I know.
How fucking hard is that?
I just don't think they really fucking cared about Janie.
No, I don't think they did.
She was a cognitively disabled young girl living in a group home. There had been rampant abuse in this group home that was like known for years and nobody fucking did anything about it. And I think when investigators looked into a couple things that they thought might have happened and it wasn't a slam dunk, they fucking gave up until somebody else got this case and actually did some fucking police work.
For like 35 years.
Yep.
Jesus.
God.
It was also said by employees that one of Dunlap's favorite hiking spots was in the area where Janie's body was found.
Jesus.
So he was known to have gone to that area. He would have known where that was.
Even the police could have asked for a list of employees and then done the fucking background checks and figured it out.
1,000%.
This could have been solved in 3 days.
Yep. Without any DNA. The circumstantial evidence is enough.
Fucking goddamn it. Okay.
Though Janie's killer died before he could see his day in court, the case was officially closed in November of 2017. So Hinkler or Hinky, whatever his name is, he gets this case in like 2014 and he gets to work on it and gets it closed.
Yeah.
Leaving Janie's sister Joyce wishing true justice had been served. This is so fucking sad, but I wanted Joyce to have a little bit of a voice here since Janie clearly doesn't have one. Yeah. She said in an interview, quote, "Final closure would have been seeing him convicted of her murder. But how I try to look at it is he died in prison. He wasn't out there hurting anyone else." She went on to share her last memories of her older sister, who was 5 years her senior. Quote, "My last memory of her was speaking to her over the phone, and she wanted me to write a long letter to her. I was in the process of doing that. Coming home from school, I'd write, but unfortunately, I did not get to send it to her because she died."
Oh.
She kept that letter for years until it was destroyed in a house fire.
Oh, no.
She said it felt like losing her all over again.
Oh my God.
Now all she has left of her sister is the single round earring with a chocolate colored stone in it and 2 hair ties, one with a pink bow and the other with little red balls on it. That's all she has left of her sister.
Earring.
Yep.
Sad.
Yeah, because now that the case was closed, they were able to return
Evidence.
the pieces. I don't think she got the shirt back because that had been kind of like torn up.
I'm sure she doesn't want the bloody
And
shirt
I'm sure
back.
she doesn't want it, but like, yeah, these were her personal effects that she couldn't touch for 38 years.
Jesus.
And then those are the little pieces of her sister that she finally got back. And I think her sister had been living in the group home for quite a while, so it's not like she had a lot of trinkets of their time together as kids.
Yeah.
And she was just a teenager when she was killed.
That is so fucking sad, and fuck those cops.
Yeah, for real.
Because that, honest to God, could have been solved right away. And it wouldn't
absolutely
have
could have
prevented
been.
her death. Like, fuck the fucking Fairview fuckers, too. Because they could have prevented her death and, like, are negligent.
Yeah.
But the police really could have fucking solved this one. I'm sorry. I know that
They absolutely could have.
like investigating crimes is not an easy job, but this one was fucking easy.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep. So anyway, knife with a hilt. It's going to leave marks.
Yeah.
Earring.
Knife without a hilt. Gonna cut yourself. Gonna leave
cut
blood.
yourself and leave blood.
Maybe don't stab anyone.
Yeah. Best way to avoid that is don't stab.
Don't stab.
Soups don't stab.
Yeah.
But that's my case.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah.
Well-
no pig's eye, but real downer.
Details will
Knee-high to a
get
pig's
ya.
eye.
Details will get you. And also, like, be detailed in your investigations and your background checks when you're hiring people in vulnerable
Yeah, there's a
places
reason. There's a reason to do those things.
Yeah.
Predators
Reading the-
will seek out those opportunities, so you got to be extra
read
careful.
the fine
I'm
print.
reading the
Pays
fine
to read.
print. Yeah.
Anyway,
Details.
all right.
listening.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Kala Yip. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Check out our website and blog at wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod. If you have questions, answers, or recommendations to share, email us at wineandcrimepodcast@gmail.com. Episodes are available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, basically wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. It is the best way to spread the word. If you'd like to show your support, visit our Patreon page to keep this podcast and the wine flowing. Cheers!
Get a $20 Hy-Vee gift card for every $100 you buy in select gift cards. Black Friday at Hy-Vee. How about the perfect gift for the fixer-upper in your life? Or the hard-to-buy-for sister-in-law? Or favorite nephew and gamer? The office grab bag and your kids' teachers. Plus, get great stocking stuffers. Get a $20 Hy-Vee gift card for every $100 you buy in select gift cards. One day only. Black Friday at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.